You are listening to The Confidence Project, episode number 143. Welcome to The Confidence Project. I am your host, certified life coach Lærke Nielsen, and I help smart women who doubt themselves calm their overthinking brain so they can stop hiding in the background and instead speak up and take confident action. In this podcast, we are shifting your identity. You're becoming a woman who believes in yourself and who wants to live her best life starting today. Hey there. I wanted to talk about what difference it makes whether you work on building confidence or not. Because I find it to be so much more fundamental than what people actually tend to think. It is much more important than most of us think. And if I ask someone how they feel about their confidence, they often say that it's not a problem. I have tons of confidence. But then they also tell me that they are overthinking decisions and they struggle following through on commitments they make to themselves. And they're also not very keen on trying new things or taking risks. Now, that might not occur as confidence to you, but this is also confidence. It's self-confidence. And I'm just going to say confidence instead of self-confidence from now on, but confidence really matters and it really makes the whole difference between having a fulfilling life where you feel good about who you are and what you do, and you are constantly learning and growing and you feel capable of solving problems and overcoming challenges, even if you haven't tried it before. And then on the other hand, not really thriving, feeling like you're missing out in life. You don't feel good about yourself, and you think other people are much more happy and successful than you. So, what is it really that shows you that you lack confidence? Let's just get it straight. You are not either confident or not. We are all human beings, and even the most confident persons doubt themselves sometimes. But the reason you want to find out if you lack confidence is of course not to put a label on yourself and feel bad about that. It's more to make you realize that there are some areas in your life where you can actually feel so much better. You have potential to grow. And that is good news because it's not something outside yourself or someone that you have to wait for. It's something you can do yourself. So by working on your confidence, you can have a much better life. And therefore, it's important to know whether lack of confidence might be the thing that is getting in your way for having the life that you want. So today, I'm going to walk you through 5 different signs that you can benefit from working on your confidence. Number 1 is an obvious one. It's easy to recognize. You have a harsh inner critic. Basically, it means you have a lot of negative self-talk. You have this voice in your head telling you often that you are not doing things well enough. You are not being outgoing enough. You're not being funny or interesting enough. Or you might be comparing yourself to others and always finding that they are better than you in one or the other way. Sometimes your inner critic is more quiet when you are alone, and that could lead you to avoid social settings or maybe certain social settings, such as when you meet new people or you spend time with people that you feel you are not quite living up to or that you really want to make a good impression on. And that could be colleagues or new friends or family of your partner, for instance. So you might notice that you feel like avoiding these situations, that they make you really uncomfortable or insecure, or rather, your thoughts when you are in these situations make you feel really uncomfortable and insecure. So these thoughts could be something like, I'm too boring, I'm not funny enough, they are more successful than me, they are happier than me, she's better looking than me, I am too quiet, I don't have anything interesting to say, my life is boring, she's better dressed than me, and her hair looks great, she's so witty and has so many fun and interesting things to say, I just want to run away and hide so nobody finds out how boring I am. And so on. You get the idea. And so you quiet yourself. You make yourself invisible. You hide in the background, even though you actually don't want that. And then once you're back home, you replay conversations and situations as if your brain didn't torture you enough already. Now you get a replay of all of it. And you ruminate about what the other people might have thought about you. And all the things you could have done and said, and that you didn't. This is self-created suffering, all with the conclusion that you were a big failure today and nobody liked you. You blew all your chances of saying something cool and funny or intelligent. You froze the moment you had a chance to speak, and everybody looked at you and thought, what a loser. Recognize any of this? I know I do. This is what my inner critic used to sound like. So you might avoid social settings unless you feel really safe with the people. So in that case, your inner critic will be quiet. And of course, if this is what your inner soundtrack sounds like when you are out meeting new people or hanging out with colleagues or other people, then no wonder you want to avoid it. This is horrible, right? Who would want to expose themselves to that voluntarily? But just notice the problem is not the other people being more successful or smarter or funnier than you. It's your thoughts about yourself that cause all this suffering. I think I have talked about this earlier in another episode and might actually make a whole episode about this thought I am too quiet. This is a thought I had myself for many years because I am a quiet introvert. I don't speak up automatically, especially not when I'm with new people. But when I'm with people I know really well, they sometimes say I speak too much. But when I'm with new people, I tend to more be observing, listening, getting to know people, and sort of navigating what is the kind of culture we have in this group and so on. I know that all the way from early childhood, I was told that I'm too quiet. And I also know how this impacted me to be even more quiet because it felt like a critique and it made me even more self-conscious. Now, after having judged myself for so many years and blocking myself by judging myself and feeling even worse about being quiet and replay conversations in my head and think, why didn't I just say this and why didn't I just say that when I had the chance? After having done that for so many years, I had a breakthrough when I gave myself permission to be quiet if I didn't have anything to say. I stopped making it a big problem for myself. I started to just accept this is my introvert personality. And this is maybe a quality because I'm actually just giving space to other people. I'm listening, I'm observing. And I don't think everyone is supposed to be loud and talkative and outgoing all the time. So after I gave myself that permission, I actually started to be less quiet, which is a sort of a funny contradiction, right? Because then I could relax more. And then automatically, well, I had something to say. I had ideas popping up in my head. I wasn't blocking myself. So if you have similar thoughts, whether that is being too quiet or being too awkward or being too nerdy or something else, I want you to try to embrace that about yourself instead of criticizing it and saying, I shouldn't be like this. I should rather try to be more like this or that. Try to just embrace that, accept that, and see it as a quality and then relax about it. And then maybe you will feel much better when you are with other people and you will feel much better about yourself and how you are as an authentic person. You also don't have this harsh inner criticism all the time, and you can enjoy being with other people. You can enjoy being yourself. Your inner critic is not only putting you down in social context, it can also be really on your neck when you want to do something just by yourself. If you want to change your career or just apply for another job, your inner critic can convince you that you will never get an interview for this or that, and you are not qualified enough, and you are not experienced enough, you don't have the right network and skills, and so on. Or if you dream of doing something completely on your own, such as writing a book or renovating a flat, you can have a long discussion with your inner critic who finally convinces you that you are never going to succeed in this, and you might as well give up. Because even if you do manage to finish that book, well, you will never get it published. And even if you do manage eventually to get it published, then nobody's going to buy it. You're just not going to buy it. And even if someone, somewhere in the world, a few people actually decide to buy it anyway, no one is going to read it. They're not going to read it. They might only read the first chapter and then forget where they put the book and not even care and not even want to try to find it again. And even if someone, like a very few people somewhere in the world who have absolutely nothing to do in their life, even if they manage to read it to the end, well, they're not going to enjoy it. They're not going to enjoy reading it. And if they say they do, it's only to not hurt your feelings. Inner critics are mean bastards. They are the meanest. It's not your boss. It's not your ex. It's not your neighbor. It's not even your mom. It's your inner critic that takes the price of being the worst, most horrible, and disrespectful voice you will ever hear. And she does that because she knows all your weak spots, right? She knows them almost before you even know them yourself. So if you recognize any of this, you feel uncomfortable about yourself in social settings, you're very self-conscious, you censor yourself, you quiet yourself, you compare to others, you despair about not being good enough, you feel like everyone else is more interesting, more funny, intelligent, good looking, and successful, and they also make more money than you, they have a better body than you replay conversations and situations in your head afterwards, and it feels very uncomfortable, then that is something you can improve a lot with confidence training. And the same goes for trying to achieve a personal goal. If you limit yourself, you censor yourself, you stop yourself, hold yourself back, you don't even take action, you kill your dream before you even try. And you can have a long overthinking session with yourself and your inner critic, and then give up or postpone your project to next year. Then confidence training can help you feel so much better, become so much more empowered, and move forward and take the actions that you want to take because you know you want to achieve something in your life. So the inner critic, that was a big one. And then the second sign that you should consider confidence coaching is if you are scared of taking risks, trying new things that you have never done before. And it's not a problem to be scared of that. The problem is when you let the fear take the lead, you let the fear stop you from trying new things. Like, unless you feel absolutely 100% safe and ready, you're just not doing it. You're not challenging yourself, and you're not taking any risks. Basically, you're holding yourself back as an emotional avoidance strategy. And you might find, or let's say your brain might find, very smart and intellectual ways to excuse that you're not taking risks, such as overthinking or overanalyzing. This is the smart brain's way of avoiding the discomfort of moving forward into an unknown situation. We need to just think it through one more time. You need just a little bit more data, more information, and more certainty. You want to just sleep on it, and then you spend 3 months going in circles and thinking the same thought in different flavors and variants, and you keep having the feeling that you still need more information and more analysis before you feel ready, like really ready to make the move. And that is whether that move is quitting your job to do something completely new, or buy a new house or an apartment. And usually that's going to be quite expensive to wait for. In many cases, prices are just going to go up. So the longer you wait, the more expensive it is. Or it could be that you want to take a course in public speaking, or you want to set up a dating profile. You want to go alone to an event in a social organization, or go alone to a dance class, or you want to sign up with a coach. Yes, you heard me. Or you want to sign up for a new education, take a 1-year leave to go travel the world, or just knock on your new neighbor's door and say hi and present yourself. It can be big as well as small things. The smart brain uses overthinking as a comfort blanket, an intellectual excuse to hide and indulge in confusion and not feeling ready. And this feeling of being ready, it might actually never come. It might actually only come when you decide now is the time to move forward, and then it comes afterwards. And I know, trust me, I'm a master overthinker. I don't know anyone who does it more than I do, or did, should I say. I still do sometimes, but I used to do it a lot until I recognize what it's really about. So when you have a normal job and you have obligations to fulfill and you have tasks that you need to do at work, you can't overthink limitless. You can't spend the whole day overthinking because you need to move forward. You have to get going and do the things. But you can, of course, overthink in your spare time and in your personal life. But I'll tell you, if you become an entrepreneur where you work alone from home and you already have some overthinking tendencies, this is in some cases like putting gasoline on the fire. It just completely explodes. It blows up in your mind. You have all the time in the world to overthink, and nobody's expecting any clear actions and deliverables from you except yourself. And who cares anyway about keeping promises to ourselves? Well, the overthinking goes from 1 to 100 in a split second, and you really get to see what a big time robber this is. You can drown in it if you're not careful. And when you're an entrepreneur, it's not just about wasting time overthinking. You literally leave money on the table from overthinking. Overthinking costs you a revenue that you could have had if you didn't stay stuck in analysis paralysis. So it does have some pretty annoying consequences to choose overthinking as a strategy to avoid taking risks and feeling discomfort. But overthinking is not the only way we avoid taking risks. We might also just postpone a decision or procrastinate or just make up an excuse as to why we are not ready yet. For example, if you are not thriving in your relationship, you want out, but you are scared of being single and starting all over again. And this is a classic one and it's very human. You know you are not supposed to be with this person, and maybe you sense that your partner knows that too. But because you're both scared of going through the heartbreak and falling into a big void of emptiness, only to have to start all over in the new unknown world of dating, because you feel the loss of familiarity and the comfort of someone where at least you know what annoys you about them, and you are used to feeling disconnected with this person, you stay stuck for too long. So, notice if you find yourself avoiding things that you do actually know you have to do and that you have a desire to do, but where your brain tells you that you are not ready, it's too scary, you've never tried this before. That tells you that confidence training can help you move forward in the right, but maybe scary direction. It can help you get more courageous and take actions towards the things you really want in life. There's a saying that everything you want in life is on the other side of discomfort, and it is so true in so many cases. The third sign that you could benefit from confidence training is about your commitment to yourself. Like, how good are you at keeping promises that you make to yourself? How good are you at doing what you say you will do? Now, again, coming back to New Year's resolutions. Like, you set a goal to go to the gym 3 times a week, or to go to bed at 10 p.m., or to eat more vegetables, or be on time. This could be one of the things that you've decided to do, and then you just don't commit yourself to it. You don't follow through on it. And of course, when we talk about not keeping promises to ourselves, we also need to consider whether we truly want the result of these promises, or is it just because we think we should do it? Like if you tell yourself you should be reading more books, and then you don't do it because you actually don't especially appreciate reading books and you prefer listening to a podcast, or you prefer listening to an audiobook, but you don't want to actually read books. And often the things we want are the long-term outcome. It's not just going to the gym. It's actually not the gym. It's more the result that we can get to become stronger and in a better shape. And it's a result that we get after a long time, consistent effort. So if you promise yourself to eat a bag of M&Ms every day, you might very easily be able to do that. That's a promise you can keep, at least for a while. But then I guarantee you, your brain is going to want to rebel. It's going to want to protest against this rule, even if you made the rule yourself. It's going to want chocolate bars or ice cream instead, because that's just what brains do. But you might be able to keep your M&M's promise to yourself for a while, because it doesn't come with an immediate discomfort. Most likely it will give you a long-term discomfort, but that's not today, right? So the promises you want to check up on are the promises that don't feel like M&Ms right now, but more something that could bring you discomfort now, but then benefit in the long run, like getting up early in the morning and go out when it's dark, cold and rainy and go for a run or go to the gym. These kind of promises, when you set your mind to do that, do you follow through? Are you a person who trusts that you will always do what you say you will do, even when it's only for yourself? And do you, in general, follow through on your promises to yourself as much as you do to others? I call this self-commitment. If your self-commitment is low, you keep promises to yourself less than to others. And this is something you can improve with confidence training. And so I know M&Ms is very old school. It's not actually something we eat anymore, except the new version with salted caramel. I really like that. And when I was recovering from the hip surgery, I had a much more passive life. I was watching a lot of Netflix and also listening to podcasts, but not going out so much. And I ate a lot of these. And now finally I have deconditioned myself to eat them all the time, but it was a hard one to stop. They're very addictive. Number 4 sign that you can benefit from confidence training. This is about trusting yourself to figure anything out. Not entirely by yourself, of course, but through asking and researching and looking for someone who can help you and so on. Trusting that you can overcome challenges and that you can solve problems you haven't seen before. Not the ones you have solved a million times, but the ones you haven't seen before. This is your very basic and fundamental self-confidence. When we choose to believe unconditionally, I will figure things out one way or the other. I'll do my best and find some kind of solution. It might not be the best solution, but it will be the solution that works best and is available and doable for me, and that in the moment is the best I can do based on my experiences and knowledge and the sources and the resources I have access to. This is not necessarily something you feel in your daily life, but more when you are in a situation where there's a brand new challenge and you either freeze and block yourself and complain and feel like a victim while you are creating catastrophic scenarios in your head, or you take a deep breath and you get to work. You get curious about what could be some different ways forward. What could be some things I can try to solve this problem? It's like having a scientist approach. I'm going to try this and see if it works, and if not, I'll learn from it and then I'll try another way. And this leads me to the last way in which you can benefit from confidence training that I want to talk about today. And this is having your own back when you fail, so to speak. And that looks like thinking, if I fail, I won't beat myself up. I'll get curious and find out what I can learn instead. It's your failure mindset. If you're paralyzed with fear of failure, if you tend to punish yourself for months after a, so to speak, failure, you want to do things perfectly and you easily define something as a failure, even if other people think it's totally good enough, then you can benefit from confidence training, because in the confident mindset, we don't fear failure in that way. We understand that failure is important information that we can learn from in order to try something new next time. Failure is not shame, it's learning, and it doesn't mean you are a bad or incompetent person. It's a learning opportunity, and curiosity is your best friend. The thing is, when we are hard on ourselves after failing, we don't necessarily learn anything from it. We close ourselves off from the possibility of learning. And that makes the whole experience even worse, because then you feel bad about it, and on top of that, you don't have any benefit from it. In order to learn, you need to not take it as a personal hit on your self-worth or your confidence, but simply look at it as a neutral circumstance that brings information to you, but that says nothing about you and your worth. It's the classic one, like Thomas Edison said, I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So, to summarize, what are the 5 signs that you lack confidence and where you have potential to feel so much better about yourself and your life if you do confidence training? Number 1, you have a harsh inner critic. This inner critic is telling you all the things that are wrong with you and is comparing you to others, and usually with the conclusion that they are so much better than you. You often feel that you're not as successful and amazing as everyone else, and you're not doing things right. This same inner critic can also stop you from achieving big as well as small personal goals. And often you feel that you will never succeed and you might as well give up ahead of time and not even try. Number 2 is you are risk averse. You spin in overthinking or overanalyzing. You're procrastinating things and you feel stuck in indecision and not taking any actions or moving forward if it feels uncomfortable. And number 3 is your self-commitment muscle is weak. You're very good at doing what you say you will do when it's for other people, but not when it's for yourself, and especially not if it comes with an immediate discomfort for a long-term gain. Number 4 is your self-trust. You don't believe you can overcome new challenges. You don't really believe that you will be able to solve problems that you have never seen before, and this can make you feel unsafe and worry a lot about the future. And finally, number 5 is your failure mindset. You think you have to do it perfectly or you will feel like a failure. And you also very easily interpret a situation as if you were not good enough. It was a bit of a failure, even if everyone else disagrees. You want it to be perfect before you can be happy about yourself. So now I want to ask you to reflect on something for a moment. And that is, What is lack of confidence or low confidence costing you? What is it costing you in your life? It could be you are not enjoying your social life. You go less out. You interact less. Maybe you even feel lonely and you are less emotionally resilient. Now, a lot of people feel lonely. We talk about a loneliness epidemic. And data shows that this is actually just as bad as smoking for your health. It's a health risk to be lonely. And in many cases, the loneliness, it actually has its root cause in a lack of confidence. So just imagine that one little thing, working on that, how much that could change your life. Lack of confidence could also cost you that you are not even trying to achieve your goals in life. It costs you a lot when we talk about lifetime satisfaction or fulfillment in life. It could also cost you that you stay stuck in a job or in a relationship that you don't thrive in because you are afraid of the risk. You are afraid of taking the move and stepping into the unknown. And this is not only quality of life, because if we talk about a new job, it could also be your lifetime income that is costing you to doubt yourself and hold yourself back and believe that you are not ready or you're not good enough yet. Low self-confidence could also cost you that you are not trying new things because you are afraid of failure and it's difficult for you to learn from experiences where you felt it wasn't a success. You actually just want to forget about that and you avoid all the things where you don't feel 100% certain that you will succeed. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people feel like this, right? They never take a step outside of the normal beaten path, although they do want to do that. They have secret dreams about doing other things in life, but the fear of not succeeding is blocking them and holding them back from actually living their life. And it could also be that a low confidence, the lack of self-commitment is stopping you from making the habit changes in your life that you want. And this could matter a lot in the long run as well. Let's imagine that it's something related to your health. It's how you eat, it's how much you sleep, it's your workout, for instance. This could potentially mean a lot for your life expectancy. So these are actually big things at stake. And a low confidence could also make you feel insecure or unsafe by the thought of challenges that you don't believe you can overcome and that you might not know about yet. But just this low-grade background anxiety or feeling insecure about your life and wanting things to stay the same as they always have been, not want to take any risk because you're afraid that if you run into a new challenge, you will never be able to overcome it and bad things can happen to you. So you tend to hold on to status quo. So now, if you have recognized any of what I've been talking about in this episode, you want to sit down a moment and try to imagine what your life would be like if you had a solid confidence in these areas, if you had a really strong, powerful confidence and you didn't stop yourself, you did what you wanted to do. Try to imagine what that would look like. What would your life look like then if you had the courage to do that? If you didn't stop yourself, what would it look like now? And what would it look like in a year from now? And what would it look like in 10 years? Honestly, I would say it's not so difficult to work on your confidence. You just need some guidance. You just need someone to be in your corner and to cheer for you and to push you a little bit in a loving way, of course, and also to keep you accountable. And there's so much to gain from that. So not working on your confidence for all of these things, all of this that it can cost you, life is just too short for that. You deserve more. You deserve that new job. You deserve to make that dream reality, whatever that is. You deserve to feel good about yourself in social settings and to not be afraid of speaking up and to not torture yourself by replaying conversations in your head and telling yourself how you were a failure in this and that. You deserve to thrive. You deserve to be your own best friend. And you deserve to achieve the things in life that you want. So if you want now to work on your confidence, I want to challenge you to not tell yourself that you are not ready and you want to think about it one more year or 6 months or something. If this is something that feels inspiring to you and is calling on you and you can recognize some of these issues, now is the time to book a free call with me. And then we can talk about where it is you're holding yourself back, where it is in your life you're lacking confidence, and I will share with you what I can do to help you and what your life could look like when you are on the other side and with a much better confidence. And I want to say, working on your confidence is not like you need to coach all the time on your confidence. You learn a technique, you learn the tools, And then afterwards, you can apply them to yourself. So it's almost like I give you a tool. Let's imagine it's a bike. And you can always go biking afterwards in other areas and bring this with you and keep your confidence in a good shape by using the tool all the time. So you do it once and you learn it, and then you apply it in your life for the rest of your life. It's totally worth it. So don't hold yourself back. Book a free call and let's talk. So thank you for listening all the way to the end, and have a wonderful week. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast, I would be happy if you can give me a rating and a review and share the podcast with a friend. And if you now feel inspired to do this work and become a woman who fully believes in herself, then book a free call on the link in the show notes. I would love to talk to you.